See, we are live.
We did it. Well,
We
you did it. I didn't do it.
did
Yeah, we did it.
it. We came to play, so that's good. So I'm not just talking to myself, which is a good. I mean, I can talk to myself
Oh yeah, I'm good at that. I'm
very
definitely
well.
good at talking to myself. I'm the only one who listens to me. It's terrible.
I know. Isn't that awful? Well, hi everybody, and welcome. We wanted to have a little chat about the access consciousness bars. And this is the amazing Brendon Watt, who is a facilitator of access consciousness and all kinds of specialty classes, and also is going to be doing a global access consciousness bars class coming up on March 16th.
How did I get so lucky?
I know. How did we get so lucky too?
Yeah,
So it'll be live in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico, and it will also be online, which is that's a treat because bars classes don't happen online
yeah,
much.
yeah.
So yeah, so everybody has, well, not everybody, but lots of people have their like bars story. I know that's one of the ways that a lot of us get introduced to access consciousness. And for those of you guys who don't know what bars is, it's a modality, it's a like energetic modality where you put your hands on someone's head on um, a bunch of different points and you hold those points and basically their life changes or they feel like they got a good massage or something in between.
For
I know.
me, it was definitely the first one.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Yeah. So I'd love to actually hear your story of how your life changed, Brendan, from your first bar session. I mean, we could tell stories about every bar session, how it changes our lives, right?
Well, yeah, definitely. And that one was it was kind of it was a it was definitely a moment in my life that changed direction of it. And it was like I was basically down and out. I just had enough. And I'd been it was an accumulation over time of giving myself up for what I thought I should be and trying to create myself as something. And so, like, I'd gotten to a point where I was like, where is me? There was no joy, there was no ease, there was basically no life left in me. I was just trucking along. I was just day by day, just boring, I'll get through it. And I was just getting through it. And I got to a point one day where I just had enough. And at that time, my son, who is now almost 17, he was 4. And and I was sharing a bedroom, this tiny little bedroom with him at my mother's house. And he'd be all, he was this little bouncy little 4-year-old, and he was happy. And I wasn't. And it was one day, and I think it just basically hit a point where I just couldn't take it anymore. And I just started begging the universe, God, whatever is up there, whatever is out there, please help me. I need help. And interesting in saying that, actually, because every time I did that throughout my life was always when I was in a situation of basically total need of something needs to change, but not need from lacking anything, need from something needs to change right now. I need help. And I
Yeah.
did that. And it was the next day that I was reading the newspaper, which I never did. And I found this tiny little ad in there that said, all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory, call Mel. And I was like, me being this Aussie bloke, like all of life comes to me with ease, joy, and glory. What does that even mean? And I didn't even think about it before calling this girl. And I called her and she's like, she said, you know what? I do this thing called the Access Consciousness Bars, and it's 32 points on the head. And when lightly touched, basically, it's like deleting the computer, man, deleting the files, all of the shit out of your life. And I was like, wow. And she said, look, at best case, your whole life will change. At worst case, it'll be like getting a great massage. And I went and saw this girl, and she was nervous because she didn't know, like, she'd only just started doing this stuff. She was just like, yeah, like, come in, and so it was such an interesting interaction with us. But both to start with, but there was something bigger already happening, and I wasn't even at that stage. Like, you know, had a sense that there must be more to life than what we're living, and for me, it wasn't much. But so she, you know, she started this process, and she said to me, "Hey, do you mind if I ask you some questions as well, and like practice using this access consciousness clearing statement?" And I was like, "Sure, like whatever." And she put her hands on my head and started running these bars, and she started asking me questions about, you know, what was it like for you when you were a kid, and like what's been going on in your life. And she had this genuine softness and curiosity in the world, and I lost it. I just sobbed for an hour and a half for this whole session, and I don't even remember what she was asking me about, but she did this, you know, she ran the bars on me, and I got up after it, and I was just like, what happened? And I kind of didn't make a big deal of it. I was like, thank you, you know, it's like, see you again. And I went and sat in my car, and I was just like, wow, something is different. And that, because for me, it was like, it wasn't this something is different now, everything has changed. It was just, I was different.
Yeah.
And there was this softness in my world again, and there was this space in my world again. And I was like, oh, wow. And then, so I kept doing it. I kept getting one session a week. And within, I think, about 3 or 4 weeks, people started asking me, like, like my mum would ask me, my sisters, people that were, that I would interact with would say, what are you doing? You seem different. And I was like, oh, I do, like knowing that I do, but you don't know what other people see. I'm like, I don't know what they see me as, like, but so it started from there. And it's like, and to look back on that now and to be where I am today is just like, wow. And it began with that bar session, you know. And I've seen, for all of us, we've all had different we've all had our different experiences with it. And it's just, talk about miraculous, but also like we seldom invest in ourselves. And that's what I see the bars as, is an investment in your being. Like, not just, you know, well, I'll invest in some, you know, like some nicer pillows and shit. Like, you know, we do all that stuff. And or investment is, let me make more money, or let me get a bigger slice of the pie, or let me make sure all of these different things. But we seldom invest in what creates more space in our world. And that's what this did for me and does for me every time now as well. But it's like, I think for me, in looking at it, it's like, with where the world's at now, we need to be investing more in what gives us more of a sense of who we actually are. And that was the thing for me in that moment 12 years ago, was like, I'd given up everything that was true for me, everything. There's basically nothing left, which was why it was depressing.
Yeah. Wow. Wow.
So it's like, but I mean, so now, and like, and facilitating this class, like, this is one that I'm really excited about, because like I said, like, that investment in ourselves, but what, like, in a bigger picture, is it's like, one of us changes like that. One of us, out of however many, is willing to be something different. It changes everything that's going on around us. And that's where we start to get a bit of a sense of, it's not just little old me. Like, you know, I've seen people like you, and people in my life, and people that I care about a lot, change your point of view, something that's sticking them, and everybody starts getting more space in that area. And it's like, we've invested too much of our energy in thinking, and it doesn't work. We've invested too much of the way that we function in functioning with the status quo, and functioning with the standard operating procedure, that I think we're all very clear right now with the way that the world's going, is we need something different. And, you know, it's us. Where's it? Where's the difference?
Not our minds. Yeah. Well, and I just love that. So everything that you said, I mean, And that thing about how, you know, just this like the softness of the change and the like the presence that this woman was with you, and like how you're like, I can't say what change or what she asked me, but everything was different after that. And you know, so often I think we think we need to be able to like define, you know, like this changed and this is how it changed and this is the mechanism by which it changed and this is the outcome that was, you know, which is so it's so not what access consciousness is about. And yeah, there's a lot of change and very dynamic and all that that can happen from these tools, but it's like really that just it's like everything was different, and I can't tell you exactly what or how or why.
Yeah.
And everybody around me was different, and that's so much more accurately sort of describes how the world changes. You know, it just occurs, and it kind of almost like sneaks up on you in a way, you know, where but you know things are different because you just have more ease in your world, or you have less points of view, or you're not spinning your mental wheels as much or whatever.
Yeah. Well, and it's like all the things that we make so relevant in order to create this perfection of whatever it is that we're striving for. And see, most of us, we don't even know what that is. Like it's like, what's the purpose of life? What am I here for? To be you and enjoy yourself
So,
and be that invitation for others to know that that's a possibility. But it's like, and I've done it so much throughout my life, is this, you know, striving for some image, striving for some perfection while not even knowing what that is. So making choices basically by getting, you know, you try and get somebody else to react to you so you can see, is that the way I should go? Or like, what do you think about this? What do you need me to be? What do you think I should be? How much money do you think I should have? What's a good relationship to you? And it's this, we're constantly projecting into others to project back at us to see some direction that we should take. And I mean, that right there, even in saying that, even though you might go, what? It's like that energy right there, that sums up the first 30 years of my life.
yeah.
You know, it was like, please show me the way. Please, like, what do you need from me? Because as long as somebody had a need of me, I knew my job. So I knew, okay, well, I'm here to fulfill needs. So it's like in starting Access, it's been an interesting journey for me over the last 12 years, because there's still things that are showing up for me now where I'm like, oh, wow, still doing it and still have that to a degree. But it's like the difference now is beginning to get a lot more honest with myself, but also the thing that sets Access apart and the thing that makes Access really different is it's about empowering people to know what they know. Not here's the path to take, here's the journey, here's the direction to walk, here's the choices that you need to make to get there. It's not that. It is what else, what do you know that you've never acknowledged, and questions to get. I know for me, speaking for me personally, is it makes me reach for what I am, not for what I've decided I am. And it's like, so in that, it's such an empowerment of who we are as beings, because we know a whole lot more than we give ourselves credit for, and we've basically, you know, without going too much into it, we've kind of fallen into the trap of a no choice universe. You know, choice is A, B, C, D, and E. It's not what choice. It's not based on question, and it's not based on knowing. It's based on what is the right choice, what's not the wrong choice. What, you know, and so you're constantly looking outside of you to find out, pinging off everything else to see what you should be, not what do I have available that I've never chosen. And it's that is where the you know, for me personally, again, it's like it's not the most comfortable of journeys, because you get to a point you're like, can you just tell me, please? Can you just please tell me what to do? Damn it. And then, you know, and then this is the funny part that I love about people and myself, is it's like can you please just tell me what to do so I know what to do? And then somebody will tell you, and you just be like, I'm not doing that.
Don't tell me what to do.
Yeah. So it's like the idea that we don't know is kind of it's kind of entertaining, because I know when somebody tells me something that I'm not going to do. So
that's hilarious. I love what you said about the discomfort too. Emily and I were texting today, and she said, I'm so uncomfortable right now. And I said, yeah, I've like, I'm at the point where I get so excited when I'm uncomfortable, because otherwise I'm just bored, And I think it's time for, with, it's so easy to get bored, when, the world as it is pretty boring, for most of us. Like it's very boring, you know. But that's especially when you're living from, trying to fulfill everybody else's needs and trying to get it right and trying to, figure out what the right choice is and not the wrong choice, like that whole thing, And when you start to actually get that sense of you, and that sense of like, who am I actually now, and then now and now, that is, it's so much more exciting for us, even though it is uncomfortable. It's like, it's so much more exciting. And the bars really undoes so much of that. Like it's just this like undoing of all the constructs that we think we are and that we think we have to do and we think we have to have, so that we could just have that natural curiosity that we be,
yeah,
that creative juice that we be,
and the receiving also. It's like that was one of the. It's like, see, for me, the thing that was killing me was every part of me that I would cut off. I would cut off the receiving with it, So it was like I got to a point where it's like receiving for me was non-existent, and at the point of starting the bars, because one of the gifts of the bars is it's all about teaching you about receiving. And for a lot of us, what we've been taught receiving is give and take. I'll give you this, I'll take that. So it's always a transactional thing rather than an actual receiving of the gift of everything. So it's like you talk about receiving, and when I first got my bars run, I quite literally was like, receiving? What is receiving? Receiving to me, if you would have said what's receiving to me 12 years ago, the first word that would have come out of my mouth would have been abuse. That would have been what receiving was to me.
Wow.
If I didn't have the walls and barriers in place, if I didn't have, all of this solidity around me to what I thought at the time, protect myself, then it was just about abuse. So for me, that was where I was at. And I see that with a lot of us. It's like you would go receiving, well, no, let me just give you something. Like, so there's nothing about this simultaneous play between anything. It was always about give this, you get that, and blah, blah, blah. You know exactly, once again, what your job is with that. But so there was that with the bars, was finally just going, wow, this person's actually just here to contribute to me. And it was hard. Like, it was like, like, should I be doing something? Like, should I be, like, not just, hey, I'm here to change your fucking life if you want me to. And I'm like, yes, please. Yes, please. So it's like, and then in the next step of actually learning the bars, which was, I think, probably a month after I got my first bar session, getting that I could gift that to somebody else and learning that was like, wow, like I'm actually contributing to somebody's life, which is what, as a kid, that was all I wanted to do. That was all I wanted to do was, can I just make you happy? Like, can I just contribute to you? Like, and I see that for a lot of us, but then we learn about judgment. And then it's like, well, there goes the receiving. Now, how do I get it right? How do I not be wrong? How do I, live like everybody else? How do I function from this standard operating procedure that everybody else does, not from the magic of being you and how unique that is?
Yeah. Well said. Yeah.
Remember, I remember even with money, like speaking of having all of those outside sources looking for, well, is it a relationship? I tried that didn't work. And I didn't pick the best relationship to be in, if that was what I was going for anyway, but that's another story. But but even with money, it was, I remember going, when I have $10,000 in the bank, my life is going to be sorted itself out. And I remember that didn't work. I was always looking for something outside of me that it never worked. And for me right now, it's like, if I don't have the space of me, it doesn't matter how much money I have. No matter how much money I have, what else is going on in my life, if I don't have that space of me, that's when I know, okay, something needs to change. This is not working.
Yeah. Yeah. And the bars is it's like one of the coolest tools for getting to the space of you, because it's instantaneous, and you like, someone puts their hands on your head and it's like, just that like relief of, it's funny that you said that, because I got my bars run out on this beautiful, I'm in Mexico, this beautiful patio right in front of me, right on the ocean. And I was, I've been in Mexico with my partner. It's like this wonderful time, and I was so like funky and grumpy and just like weird this one day, and it was sort of like, well, I'm in Mexico and I'm in Mexico with Brian. Like, I have no reason to be, but so it doesn't matter what's going on, like you said, how much money you have in the bank or whatever. It's like, I was like, and I still really need my bars run, and we just went outside and he ran my bars, and I was just like looking up at the sky and the birds, and it was like, an hour later, everything was totally different.
Yeah. And I don't know what I'd do without it now, but it's interesting. I was having a conversation with somebody last night, and she said, you know what I'm asking for? Because Dane had this, he's been talking about it a lot lately and stuff that he's been doing. But and I was just like, well, that's brilliant. Talking about writing a wow list in 12 months, writing down 10 things at least that in 12 months time, if you had those actualized in your life, would be a wow. Like, not just a that's cool. Cool. I got like a little bit more, like, oh wow, like, wow, this is awesome. And I was talking to her last night, and she was like, you know what? One of the things on my list is going to be having either bars or a body process or a massage every day, gifting that to myself. And I was like, and it tweaked something in my world, because I was like, I mean, I'll ask for big things, but when it came to that, I was like, oh. And I had a point of view about it, and I went, "Wow, why would I not ask for that? Why would I not be willing to invest that in me, knowing that would create more space in my world, knowing that I would be with more space in my world for me. I'm more of a contribution to the world. I'm more of a contribution to everybody listening to this live if I'm being me. And it's like, and that's what we don't get, is the way that we change the world is by being us. I mean." It's that it really is that simple. And and we make it so difficult. But when she said that, I went, oh, so I'm giving up that point of view. I'm adding that to my list of things also. But this, like in talking before about receiving, was what I'd done so well in my life. It's basically, I'd given up asking for anything. A, what was the point? Because B, I wasn't willing to receive it.
Totally.
So it's like,
why torture myself?
why torture myself? I've created myself exactly how everybody told me I would be. Everybody told me growing up that I'll be unhappy, that without the perfect relationship, you'll be unhappy. Without like, and you know, and people like all of this shit. And I see it for a lot of us, and it's like we are conditioned in a way that is designed to keep you the same as everyone and everything else. And it's like, where's the magic in that? You know, and it's like people would say to me, "You're going to be just like your dad," and I'm like, as a kid who I've never been good at judgment. I just haven't. Something went wrong with me at birth because I didn't see people like that. I saw people for their being and the beauty of that. I never had this. Oh, you're ugly. You're stupid. It's just like, hi, you're you. Like, so for me, people would say to me, "You're going to be just like your dad," and I'd be like, my father is an alcoholic, abusive asshole, basically. Okay, like that, really, that is what, and it's like, how much of you do you have to give up in order to believe in that?
Yeah.
It's like, where is the empowerment in our world? Like, where is seeing the beauty in people and going, you can be anything you desire. I get you got shit going on. I get that. And it's like, what else is possible?
Yeah.
Like, you don't have to be perfect. For me, I'm definitely not perfect. I can be an arsehole. And I've dealt with stuff and I've been dealing with stuff with alcohol as well. So it's like, it's not about being perfect. It's about being you and recognizing that includes everything. And it's like, if we had more of that in our world, like, I mean, just that would be, I'm putting that shit on my wow list. That's what's happening.
I love that. I love that. And just that, like, the thing about getting a, bars or body process or massage every day, it's like the receiving that you would have to choose to actually have that changes everything. I mean, because when you said that, I was like, well, you're not supposed to do that. Like, that was what it was this, like, that's too much, right? Like, that's too much.
That's what I did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
that too much thing. And it's like, what makes it too much?
Yeah.
What, like I've had, my whole life has been, my whole life, but like I said, not knowing what to ask for and basically having the point of view I couldn't receive is I am really good at getting what I want. I just am. Call it a talent, call it a capacity. Yes, exactly. But over the last few years, I've had certain things in my life and I started giving that up too. Like, people would be like, you just get everything too easy. Well, maybe I should stop the ease and create more difficulty in my life. And it's like, for a lot of us, we do that. You shouldn't get it that easy. Like, you're spoiled, or like, we have a universe that's going, all of life comes to you with ease, joy, and glory. We're going, no, give me the pain, suffering, and glory, because I know that it's comfortable for me, which is why for a lot of us, we get to space in our world. And then the uncomfort is there because you're actually tapping into something different that is not definable based on this reality and what everybody else says is what the status quo is and what's normal and what is. And it's like, whoa, that's a different energy that I'm aware of. But it's like, but then for a lot of us, we go, well, let me choose a little bit of trauma. Let me choose a little bit of drama. Let me choose a bit of upset. Let me choose a bit of fight. That's what everybody else is doing. At least then I know where I fit. Well, how's that been working? Is my question. And, and it's like, the way to be, in order to be something different and have a different life and have different things show up and start having a difference with receiving, you have to make different choices. It doesn't just happen, unfortunately. And it's like, and that was early on in Access, was one of the biggest gifts for me. Was I went to my first class with Gary Douglas, and he said, your life right now, everything that's showing up in your life right now is based on every choice you've ever made. And I went, oh, wow. What? And it set off something in my world, because I was like, for me, what I'd done was, you know what, I'm unhappy and depressed and can't create anything greater than that because I've been abused. I don't have money. I can't create money. I can't have success with money or business because I grew up in poverty. I can't create a relationship because, well, don't even go to where that went with as a kid and seeing that. And it's like, so I had reasons and justifications for everything. For me, it was, I'd created myself as a victim. And in like for anyone listening to that, who they go, oh shit, you sound like me, it's not a wrongness, but look at what you've been given. It's like, if this happens to you, then you should be a victim to it. But the only thing with that is it puts you in fight with yourself, and it also gives you no choice beyond it. So for me, I didn't even realize I had another choice. And when he said that, I went, oh, so if I can create this, what I call my life right now, which I fucking hate, if I can create that pile of shit, then I can surely make some different choices and create something different, which is what I started doing. And it's like, that's where the difference started showing up. And so for me now with that is, I know that if something is going on in my life, there are choices that I'm making to create it. And it's kind of freeing, but also kind of sucks because you kind of want somebody to come in and you want God to fix it all for you. You want the universe, why are you not fixing this right now? And the universe is like, because you're an idiot and you keep choosing it. And I am not here to live your life for you. I'm here to support you and gift you whatever it is that you're willing to receive. But right now, with the choices that you're making, you aren't really willing to receive fucking anything. So you are actualizing your life exactly the way you desire it. And I'm like, huh, okay, fine.
So you mean I have to choose something different?
Yeah.
That's too hard.
Yeah, exactly. But that's one of the beautiful things about the bars too, because the bars is about getting rid of all your belief systems. So it's like, a few of the bars, money. I mean, look at the beliefs we have with money, the beliefs we have in place with money. A few of mine was where there's money, there's conflict. The only way to get money is hard work. The only good thing about money is spending it. I'll never have it. I had all of these things in place, and they're over, this lifetime and many, 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 many other lifetimes. And it's like, so money, awareness, all of the beliefs with awareness and what you can and can't be aware of, control, creativity, your body, your like joy, sadness, all of these different things. And it's like, as you eliminate these beliefs, you recognize that you actually have a whole lot more choice than you've been choosing. And it's like, so with that, it's like, I mean, what a gift.
Yeah. Truly, truly, truly.
Have we done it? I can't talk. Have we done a good job of selling the bars? If you don't want to have your bars on after that, what are you, crazy?
Truly, and so much more. Well, and I was thinking about how, because the bars class it's a 1-day class, and you give and receive 2 sessions during the day. So you get to, I mean, like, it's like no matter how many bars class you've taken, it's like always a wonderful thing to take a bars class, because you get to have your bars run twice, and you get to run bars twice, and you don't, if you've done a million bars classes or none, there's no prerequisites. You don't have to know anything. You don't have to like be an energy worker, anything like that. It's just so simple. Anyone can do it. And I love that. And so I know you're asking for you asking for 10,000 people in the bars class?
I've been asking for 10,000 people. I started asking for that years ago, but it was one of those asks where it's like, I'm going to be a billionaire, like it was a pipe dream. It was like, yeah, I'm going to be a billionaire, even though I can't receive for shit.
Right.
Right. That's what I started asking from. So but now I have a little bit of a different point of view about myself, and it's like, I'm asking for that. I don't know how long it's going to take me to get there, but I'm asking for it. And it's like, for me right now, one of the gifts with that is it's showing me where I've been unwilling to receive that. once again about receiving. That would shatter, that would just shatter my reality, and it's like, but that's
You
where
would shatter a lot of realities.
Yeah, true story.
Yeah.
And it's like, and that's where in the past I've always stopped myself with that. Like I shouldn't. What makes me so special that I should ask for that? What makes me not so special that I shouldn't?
Yeah.
And it's like, and that is, imagine if there was more of us that were just going, you know what, I'm crazy, but I'm asking for it anyway.
Yeah.
It's like, and the difference is with me now is I know I'll get there. I just don't know how long it'll take.
Yeah. Maybe a few weeks,
Hey, I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Consciousness, I'm asking for a miracle, baby. Let's
bring on the chaos, and I mean, just to have that many people in a day, running bars together all over the planet. I mean, that's just amazing,
Yeah.
And this class is going to be live in Puerto Vallarta. I can tell you right now, Mexico is wonderful. I'm going to be in Puerto Vallarta tomorrow. I love it there. And it's also going to be online. And you do need to have a partner if you take the class online. So find a friend to take it with, or there are POPs all over the world, parties of possibility, people hosting, the class via live stream in their living room, getting people together so you can have, people to exchange the sessions with. And that is all available on the accessconsciousness.com website. Thank you, Marco, posted a link to the bars class. And if you go to that listing, you can also see where the POPs are located. There's 30 some odd right now, 33, 34 right now.
Yeah.
And there will be a lot more as we get closer. So yeah, really cool way to do it if you're not going to come to Mexico.
Oh, I'm really looking forward to it. Yeah. Like truly, I mean, I had this girl, too many stories of like people in bars classes of like just miraculous. And it's like, I had this girl in Marseille. I did this class like 3 years ago, I think. It was in Marseille in France, and she was 17. And I just picked her out of the crowd, and I was like, because one of, like you said, you gift and receive the bars. So I run the bars to show people how to do it. And it's like, I was like, hey, do you want to come up? And she was like, sure. And she comes up, and she's such a sweetheart. And, and this girl was like, just received. And so I ran her bars and, and gave her a hug and was like, thank you. And 2 days later, her mum came up and saw me, and she was like, hey, I just wanted to let you know that my daughter, who you ran bars on the other day, she has been deaf in one ear her whole life. And after you ran her bars the other day, her hearing started coming back. And I was like, I lost it. It was one of those moments where it's just like, oh, wow. Like that. I mean, talk about receiving. It wasn't about me. It wasn't about her. It was everything was included. And she was just like, oh, I'll have that. And she got it. And it was just like,
wow. That's amazing. Beautiful. That's just, wow. Yeah.
Yeah.
So many stories like that. Just so many stories like that in every area of life. Just, wow.
Yeah.
That's so cool. Yeah. Cool. Well, everybody who's been with us, watching and listening, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for you. Please, share this. Let's invite the world to this possibility.
Yes, please. We'd be very grateful for that.
Yeah. Yeah. And thank you, Brendon. Thank you for you. You're just such a gift. Like, really, it
is very mutual
with you. Yeah.
Very mutual. I'm very grateful. And yeah, please, everyone, share this. Let's, I mean, my ask is that we get bars out there into the world and people actually have access to it and know that it's a possibility. And also, I mean, with the schools and the, different institutions now that we're starting to get it into, it's just like, oh. So.
Such an easy way to change things, to change anything, to change the world, to change people's lives. It's just like, hey, let me just head. You know? Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks everybody. Have a beautiful day or night wherever you are.
Thank you.
See you later.
Bye bye.